You know, we really need to talk about the fact that there's so much miseducation or undereducation or just flat out ignorance when it comes to EVs in 2024. That's what's on my mind today. So, last night was my mother-in-law's birthday, and I love her. I really do. She's awesome. She's a great person. But we had a dinner with a bunch of my wife's family, and you know, it always happens. Somebody's got to start talking about how stupid EVs are, and how terrible they are, and why do I drive an EV? And it's every time. And again, it just blows my mind how in 2024, people are so miseducated or undereducated when it comes to EVs. If only there was some way, some electronic device, some kind of system that you could use to look up facts about things that you don't know about. You know, maybe we could call it the internet. Oh wait, we have that. But no one seems to use it. And what we're all doing right now, we're on YouTube. You could look it up. You could find out what's going on with EVs. You can find out the real story. But do people do that? No, they do not. No, they do not. So we had the whole conversation about Chicago a couple weeks ago where there were some frozen chargers and, you know, right from the get-go, what would you do? What if you couldn't charge your car? You would be screwed. You wouldn't be able to get to work or go to the grocery store or survive. I mean, honestly, like I'll put a link to Kyle Connor's video for anyone who may have not seen it when he went to Chicago a couple weeks ago to sort of investigate this, and he found out what was going on, and as always did a fantastic job with it. But my response, of course, was, I was like, well, okay, you know, you guys are talking about something that happened in Chicago a couple weeks ago, but you haven't heard about it since. And what about Fargo, North Dakota? It gets pretty cold there. You didn't hear about any problems in Fargo, did you? How about Minneapolis? I have a friend that lives northern Minnesota, up above St. Cloud. Drives a Tesla, loves it, had no problems. How about, I don't know, Boston, right where we live? It's 90 minutes east of us. It's winter there. Did anybody there have any problems? Did you hear horror stories in Boston about people not being able to charge their cars? No. You heard about one place, one specific incident. That's all you heard about. So it's not like it's everywhere, it's all the time. There are specific reasons that happened in Chicago. I've been charging my car in the winter for 2 winters now, and I have yet to have an issue. I'm pretty sure I'll never have an issue. And you know why that is? Because I know how to do it. And, you know, the other thing is, you get people trying to tell me what a dum-dum I am for driving an EV. These are people that have never even been in an electric vehicle, much less ever owned one, charged one, ever done anything with an EV. And they're trying to tell me how EVs work, which is always hilarious to me. Because that's like, no offense to anybody, but that's like somebody who's morbidly obese telling me how I should work out, all the best workouts to get in shape. Pretty sure you're not the person to ask. And, you know, I know what I'm doing. So, you know, it's crazy how, and there's also a political piece to this, unfortunately. I don't think electric vehicles should be political, but I guess everything in today's world is political. And granted, a lot of the people that were at this dinner last night were all Trump, 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 Trump. So, you know, I'm not saying whether you should be for Trump or whether you shouldn't be for Trump. I'm not trying to be that guy. But obviously these people are all Trump people, and it seems like if you're, I guess, conservative, you feel like EVs are bad. I don't know why that is. I guess they think everybody who's a liberal wants an EV. I don't know. I don't know. It makes no sense to me how this can be a political thing. Like, you either want electric vehicles or you don't. You either, and forget the whole like climate argument, because I think that's part of where the political piece comes from. Is, most conservatives look at, climate change activism and just the whole idea of climate change they think is bullshit, which, sorry to say, it's not. It's a real thing. I'm not a zealot about it. I'm not crazy. I'm not somebody who thinks we need to shut down the earth because of climate change, but it is a real thing, and there are steps that can and should be taken to fight it. But I'm not like wild about it or anything. But anyway, so I think that's where the political piece comes from. But like, to just be so like stupid and ignorant, it drives me insane. Like, when people say EVs catch fire, I always have to say, like, oh, I forgot that gasoline's not flammable anymore, and gas cars never catch fire. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a stupid thing to say. Oh, EVs catch fire. Okay, well, ICE cars catch fire. So are you saying we should drive no cars? No, you're just trying to say it about EVs. Oh, you can't charge them when they're cold. Well, you can. And, it's the same old arguments. And I feel like, we're never going to make any progress until we get better education on how EVs work. And, unfortunately, the way the media works, especially certain media outlets that love to just like throw the fear of God into people about everything. It's the same like when you see, during hurricane season, when you'll see all the weather people flipping out because there's the potential of a hurricane, or when there might be a blizzard coming your way in the wintertime. Oh my God, it could be the end of, it could be the biggest blizzard that's ever hit in the history of the world. And then it never is. Like, it's never as bad. They like just overdo it on TV, like, and on the internet. It's almost like it's just to get viewers, to get clicks, right? They know it's not going to be as bad as they make it out to be. And I think that's the same with EVs. Like, if you're anti-EV, you just like exaggerate the issues. And it's not to say that there aren't any issues. We certainly need more of a robust charging infrastructure in the US. We're woefully behind even Europe, and that's embarrassing. We should never be behind Europe. I mean, again, no offense to any, European viewers, but this is the US of A, baby. This is the United States of America. We should be number one in everything. And we're just way behind. And, so that is a real thing. Ooh, sweet EV6. Nice. See? There's EVs all over now. So we do need more charging infrastructure, but we also need people to be educated on how to charge an EV. It's not like a gas car where you pull up to a pump and you fill it to the top. You don't do that with EVs. You don't have to do that with EVs. It's a different mindset. It's a different way to, fuel your vehicles. It's just a different way of doing it. It's actually easier and better in a lot of ways. And, just think about in the next 5 to 10 years, the advances that will happen in battery technology and charging. You'll be able to charge an EV, from probably 10 to 80% in like 5 minutes. I mean, it's getting closer and closer to that all the time. So it's only going to get better. And when that's the case, I mean, it's going to be a hard argument for ICE cars to me. What's the advantage anymore? EVs are better as far as performance. They're easier and more fun to drive, to be honest. Faster. They don't pollute. You can charge it at home. You can't fill a car up with gas at your house. And it's going to be to me, a really hard sell to stick with EV or to stick with ICE cars. I think it's a hard sell even now, but in a few years, it's going to be even harder. I just don't know how anybody can make an argument that ICE cars are superior. The only advantage that ICE cars have today, in my opinion anyway, is that there's gas stations everywhere. So they're easy to fuel up. Like there's no anxiety ever about, oh, am I going to be able to gas up my car? And there's no gas lines. You rarely pull into a gas station and have to wait in line to get gas. And with EVs, there's not enough charging. So it's not range anymore. It's just when you get to the charger, is it going to work? And are you going to have to wait? Because, there's only 4 plugs and there's 12 cars that want to charge up. Those are the issues that EVs still face as far as road trip charging. I mean, if you own a home, you can put a level 2 charger in your garage next to your house, whatever it is, and you can charge your car at home. So going back and forth to work, super easy. It's never a problem. And, as far as that goes, how is an ICE car ever going to beat that? Like, you just come home, you can plug in. Next day when you leave to go to work, you're juiced up. You don't have to go to a gas station, don't have to do anything. You're done. Road tripping is really the only place where there's still a little bit of charge anxiety. And if you don't own a home, if you live in an apartment or a condo, then it can get a little tough, because now you're dealing with the fact that, does your apartment complex have charging installed? A lot of them do not. Your condo have it installed. A lot of them do not. So for people that don't live in a house, like a regular house, yeah, you do have to rely pretty much on DC fast charging, or, if there's a level 2 charging infrastructure where you work, you can plug in while you're at work. And then it's kind of the opposite, where you show up for work in the morning, you plug your car in, and by the time you leave at night, when the day's over, your car is fully juiced up. So you go home, park, next day, go to work, plug in if you need to. That'll work too. But not everybody has that. So we do have a ways to go in that regard. But as far as just the vehicles themselves, EVs just blow ICE cars away. I mean, it's not even close to me anymore. But I think people need to be educated about that. They need to try them out. They need to understand them better. And, that's why I think dealers suck, because they don't do a good job teaching people, even when they buy one, how it works. There's no great single resource online to go to, unless you're able to find channels like Tom Bologna and Out of Spec, who do a really good job trying to educate people on how EVs work and how they are charged and how they function and the best way to manage your EV. But we need more of that. So, yeah, that's my rant. But so if you're dealing with a bunch of people, in your family or friends of yours, you get together and people just regurgitate the stupid shit that they hear in media, don't back down. Be armed with your facts. Tell them how it is. Tell them how they're wrong and how you're right. And tell them that EVs are awesome and it's okay to be awesome. I'll see you guys later. Oh, we got some moron doesn't know how to put their car in neutral. How do you get to a car wash and you don't know how to put your freaking car in neutral? They're gonna get wet. I love all the lights they put in to make it like it's a ride. Woo. You're looking good. Seriously, you ever seen anything that sexy in your life? Damn, girl.